Hello everyone, welcome back to Small Hobbies, and today we'll be reviewing this, the Force Impulse Gundam, and my background fell over. We're off to a great start! So today I will actually be trying to put some sort of spine or skeletal structure to my videos, because prior to now, I have not tried at all to do that. Well, I've tried, but not really hard. So, yeah, we're gonna see if we can get better this time. So, we're going to start out with a quick look around the mobile suit. And all I can say about that is this thing looks amazing. The detailing is really good. I think Bandai is using a new runner structure or a different type of molding because the details on this are super sharp. For example, right here on the arms, these little edges, they're sharper than they were on any other real grades I've done. Same thing right here on the thrusters right here. Where's some other piece? In the head details are a lot sharper. These little panel lines in there. If I can angle that so you can see it. Those are a lot better. Everything is just sharp on it. It looks fantastic. So whatever they're doing differently now that they weren't before, absolutely love it. Makes the kit look fantastic. Okay, now we're going to be taking a quick look at accessories. So, as far as accessories go, we actually do get a good bit of stuff in here. So we're going to start out with the beam rifle. The beam rifle in this kit is very basic. It's just got a couple moving parts, but it's got basically just two pieces of plastic slapped together with a barrel and a few other really cool details. And I really actually like this beam rifle for how simple it is. It does have this little red spot right here, which is I don't know what that is. It's supposed to be, but it's just a nice little bit of detail, and it's color separated out quite nice as per normal real grade standards. The handle can move side to side, as well as the sight can move side to side. So that is all very nice. We've got the shield in here, which is the Gundam Seed shield, and it has a little handle that can move like that. But it can also, because it's the Force Impulse Gundam, it has this nice little gimmick here where the shield, kind of tight on mine, I don't know if that's a problem across all of them, but the shield can pop out like so. Open up there. And we can pop out these little side sections here. And it can unfold into this wider variant of the shield. I don't know I haven't seen this show, so I don't really know what the purpose of this is, except for to make the shield bigger. But maybe it emits a beam effect or beam waves or something, or some sort of disruptor to stop beam fire. But it's really cool that they added that gimmick in the model. It's really cool. And then we also get some very interesting holding hands. Now, I want this close. I'm trying to close this, and it seems to be jammed. I don't know what it's jammed on, though. Oh. Boop. Got that. So be careful with that. Remember to close those in before you close up the shield. Otherwise, it's not going to close. It's just going to stay open. Okay. So, we've got some interesting holding hands. These holding hands are just for the knives. They have a nice little peg in there that will allow the knife to clip right into place. So let me remove that there. Take these folding knives, which are not Evangelion folding knives, and they actually fold, so that's fantastic. So that's what they look like unfolded. And that's what they look like when they're folded. And those can slot. Oh, whoops, wrong one. There's a right and left version of this, so they're not identical, but the only difference is this little slot here on the side. But that just slots right into the hand, and then this is in there, and there you go. Got your little stabby there. So that is quite cool. I love that the Gundam Seed, or the Seed Gundams, they have they have like these folding knives. I absolutely love the folding knives, like the Strikes folding knives, which are right over here. Actually, I have an extra pair of those because they came with another model kit I made. But these ones do not have that tab in the handle, so they have a tendency to kind of just slip out and fall over all the time. Really super annoying. But I have this extra pair that came with this guy. This Build Strike Gundam, I think. That's gonna stay in its corner of, if I take it out of there, it's just gonna fall apart. So it's gonna stay in its corner of doom over there, and never gonna touch that ever again. Anyway, yeah, so those hands are just for that. We got some nice widespread open hands right here, which are quite nicely detailed on the inside. Get that in focus. Why isn't that focusing? There we go. And on the backs as well. And then we have a standard holding hand. Now this is for holding the shield, but you can also use anything else with this. And you also have this fist. Yeah, it's not focusing again. There we go. You got a pair of fists that goes on there. I have one on there already. When I build my model kits, I like to put the fists on there, or at least just like the closed hands, because if I put the widespread open hands on there, I feel like I have a risk of breaking off the fingers, especially with the real grades, or the older real grades, which is where I got that habit from. But anyway, yeah, we have some nice little landing gear here for the core Splendor. We have some nice little torpedoes for the core Splendor, and I will show that in a bit of transformation later. And we have these two beam effect parts, as well as two beam saber hilts themselves, which I have stored away on the what is this thing called? I think it's like the Impulse Silhouette. I think Force Silhouette, not Impulse, Force Silhouette. Okay, and it kind of has these really nice beam sabers, and these I believe can also be used. I think these can be used in both versions of the hand. So this is the open hand, so we'll try it with this first. Give it the whop. Oh, okay, that can't hold it at all. Let's try with these hands. So take the fingers off here and slot that in that little tab there. And close up the hand there. And perfect fit. It's not going anywhere. So I love it when they have the tabs and the beam sabers because of this exact reason. That beam saber is not going anywhere, no matter how much you shake this. And the beams effect parts fit in there just as snugly as they need to. They're not too tight or too loose. Just about perfect, say. And we also have the Silhouette Flyer. So hang on, let me put this back together and I'll bring up the Silhouette Flyer. So here is the Silhouette Flyer here. It's quite nice. It has one moving part, and that's this. Pulls out, and that is to attach it to the Force Silhouette. So let's do that. See what that looks like. I actually really like the way this looks, except for the wings are a little too long for my taste. It's a little bit persnickety to get that in there as well. Oh, there we go. Wasn't it fully extended? Well, every kit's got its ups and downs. But yeah, that's the Silhouette Flyer. So I really like the way that looks. I didn't know that this engine, I thought this was covered up. It would be really nice if it was covered up because it's just kind of half blocked there. But anyway, it's fine. It looks good. I like the way it looks. And it also comes with two base adapters. This one for one of the flight forms, as well as just the general mobile suit, and this one for one of the flight forms, just the flight form. And then this thing has a 3mm hole at the bottom. Forgot to mention that. That's for putting on an action base, but I don't know where mine is, so we won't be doing that. And then we have this, which is a set of real grade style stickers. We got some, basically just like those real grade detailing stickers, as well as those real grade shiny reflective stickers, which I love a lot. So getting into the articulation, this kit is very much so like a mini master grade. I'm going to remove this gun for the sake of the articulation so it doesn't get in the way. This kit is very much so like a mini master grade. A lot of people like master grades. And I prefer real... Oh, shoot. I prefer real grades, but a lot of people like the master grades. So I'm not going to discount that at all. Master grades, in my personal opinion, I've had nothing but bad experiences with them. Every time I get them, they're super loose. They got seam lines. It's just... Real grades don't have as many seam lines, if any. Usually they don't have any at all. If anything, they're just get loose, and the newer ones, they don't even get loose. So there's really no problems with the newer ones. They're perfect scale for me because I don't have a lot of room. So I love that I can just have a very detailed scale model, just that doesn't take up a lot of room and has a little pilot figure. Oh, that's what I forgot to mention. Where did he go? Where did he go? There he is. Boop. Because this little pilot of who I have no idea who it is. So if anyone knows who that is, put it in the comment section below, right there. Okay. Well, moving on. As far as articulation, this guy, he's got pretty basic articulation, actually. Nothing too fancy, and nothing really that awful. He's got, I think, 3 joints in the legs, if you include this joint moving this thing, the ankle guard. But we're going to start from the head down, because I have a tendency to bounce all around the mobile suit. So we're going to start from the head down. See if that, well, that's just my new skeleton format here. So the head can move up that far, down that far, which is a very good look down. He can pretty much just cover up his entire face. Looks right into the cockpit there. It can move all the way around. A little bit of a tilt side to side. A little bit of forward and back there. But that has a tendency to twitch the torso a little bit. That's fine. His arm can move up that far before it clashes with the torso. If you pull out this... Oh no! Okay, his arm can move up this far. But if you pull out this joint here, it can move up like almost all the way there. Just get a lot more out of that suddenly. And you can move it forward like this now, as well as back like that, just a little bit. Okay. And then that just kind of slides in. That's part of the transformation as well. We do have, since this is technically right below the head, we do have a little bit of an opening cockpit hat. Okay. This has a tendency to move up in the way, but it's supposed to open like this, I believe. It is not doing that. Okay. Well, that's fine. Okay, never mind. So this can move up like that and down like that. Okay, we do have a tiny little opening cockpit hatch just below that, but I don't think I'll be able to get that out. Let's see, do I have something? A pair of tweezers? Maybe this will work. Push down the lower section there. Let's just scratch that. There we go. So there's cockpit hatch open. There isn't really a chair inside there. There's just kind of a door. But it does have an opening cockpit hatch. It's a nice little gimmick for the real grades. I love that. That's kind of segueing off the topic here. Arms have full rotation up here. A nice, almost perfect bend at the elbow there. The shoulder armor can kind of move a little bit, but not really. It's been my experience that when you move these things, it pops the top piece off, because these aren't connected to each other. They're connected to like the main joint here, which is capable of moving that far before it hits everything else. Okay, and then we have a little rotation down here. The hands are just on a ball joint, so you get pretty much just normal ball jointness from that. We got a little bit of an ab crunch. Not much there, a little bit there. And we got some side to side, not really anything for side to side motion. All of these are separately articulated, all on ball joints. All the skirting armor is on ball joints, so this can move around like that, this can move around like that. These can move up that far before they clash with the torso, which allows you to get a little bit of the splits. And then you can also move the front skirting up. These are separated, they're on separate ball joints in there, if you can see that. But he can kick, kick up that far. Like I said, you can kick up that far before it clashes with that. You got a premium butt flap here, so kick back that far, which is not bad, but quite nice. We have a double jointed leg here, so this can kind of do whatever it wants, but we get a good amount of articulation there. So that's just about as much as you're gonna want from this. So that's great. But when you move that, this has a nice little sliding out gimmick, so that's pretty cool. But yep, put that back in position there. That's part of the transformation as well. That's why it does that. The ankle can move down that far, so that's on the ground. It can move down that far, and then it stops. And then that's the limit of its articulation forward as well. That's the limit of articulation side to side. Is all still while keeping the foot on the ground. That inside bend is amazing. Look at that. That's fantastic. That's absolutely amazing. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting I wasn't expecting that. Okay. Now let's has a little drop down mechanism here in the waist. Let me see if I can activate that here. So once you drop down the legs there, which is just basically for aerial poses, you can suddenly get the entirety of the splits. There he is doing the splits. You can get an amazing kick out to the front, get an amazing kick out to the back. Then again, that looks really awful unless you're in an aerial pose, in which case that you can mostly cover that up with the other appendages. But otherwise, that's pretty much just going to stay like that forever and ever and ever. Boop. Okay, moving on. We have the, dang it, I forgot the name again. What is this? Impulse Silhouette, which has rotation, or a little bit of a ball joint here. So this can move up that far. Whoops. The ball joint wants to fall off a lot. I will warn you about that. That ball joint has a tendency to just be gone instantly. It's amazing, actually. But it can go back that far. That's quite nice. It can go. These can go up that far, down that far. These are also on ball joints, but they can also fold back like that. And these little verniers here, these can move up and down. A little bit up and down there. These things here, these can move up and down and kind of a little bit out to the sides like that. And then these things can open up and expose little verniers there in each side. Oops. In each side there, so that's, I love little details like that. And it's one of the reasons I love railroads so much. Because it's just harder to pull that off on this scale. So, yep. that's it for the articulation. Now let's get on to that transformation I was telling you guys about. So as far as transformations go, as if you saw my unboxing, I hate this thing's flight forms. They're awful. They're the worst. But without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so there is all of the flight forms, and let me say that that's one of the easiest transformations ever, but it is the worst. It looks horrible. I hate this. I hate that. I love that. So let's get a quick 360-degree spin here of these wonderful, wonderful flight forms. Okay, so there's your 360-degree spin of these flight forms that someone obviously took a lot of time designing. I mean, engineering, absolutely beautiful people. I'm being completely sarcastic. But still, I might as well show how these little attachment things work. So let's get into it. The first one, the attachment is the action base adapter for this, because you'll totally want to display it in this mode. But that just attaches right there, and then you can plug the little action base into that hole there, and you've got yourself a, yeah, that, just not gonna talk about that one again. Okay, then we got this thing, we got this nice little action base adapter. I have actually no idea how this connects, but I'm assuming you just stick it right there, and it just snaps right into place like that. And nope, maybe just a little bit lower. Oh, wait a minute, I was right. It's right there. Just put that right there. Snap your action base adapter into that hole, or into that one, because you just have to pop the top off the action base adapter and stick it in that. That's fine. Yeah, doesn't look great, but there's that. Or you can just use this one, which is my personal favorite. This has a little hole there, and you can just pop that in the little action base adapter. It's an awesome looking little airplane. Or you can just have it sitting around because it's got little landing gears and it's super cute. Absolutely love this. As far as this thing's articulation goes, you saw all the wings and stuff, but you can open the little cockpit. It's awesome. It's got a little chair in there. Super cool. Love it so much. Okay. Whoops. So one of the things I was wondering when I got this kit was, man, this thing looks so cool. I wonder if you can display it without the core fighter. Just because of like the first real grade, the Gundam, just the RX-782 standard Gundam thing, like the Granddaddy Gundam there, had a core block. This one does not come with a core block, but I was wondering, maybe you can attach these. You can. And they're not any less off for it, actually. You can attach those, display it just like that. Not like with the legs like that, because that would look awful, but you can just attach the torso like that. As you can see, core fighter's right here. Giant gaping hole in the back. That's the only downside, is it doesn't have its backpack now. However, you can mostly cover that up with this. However, this was made to compensate for the core splendor there. So there's still this giant gaping hole there. It's the only downside to that. But if you have his back to the back of your shelf, no one's going to notice. I recommend doing that. Because I actually love this little core splendor here. I will probably do that myself. Anywho, Oh, yeah, so these, this is just a neat little extra that came in the box. There's no extra pieces, per se, but if you do custom builds, you're gonna probably like this. I don't know. Maybe you won't, maybe you will. And you get these large boxes where they save some of the pieces in them. And I cut those out because you just get this bunch of free plastic you can use in a custom build for like layering armor and stuff. That's super cool. You get a bunch of these. 4 of these big red ones. 2 of these little red ones. Oh, whoops. 2 of these little red ones. And then this giant black box too. So that's cool. So I'm looking forward to using those in a custom build whenever I get around to doing that. Probably gonna be a while. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Instagram and my Pinterest. I'm on Pinterest as Small Hobbies and on Instagram as also Small Hobbies. So check out my Instagram and Pinterest, and I will see you all next time. Bye!